And Donald Trump's aggression against Canadian livelihoods and workers constitutes just such a crisis.
Sounds to me that Mark Carney needs a crisis. Hi there, it's John, and welcome to the channel. Hope you're having a great day today. It's the 27th of April, 6:42 a.m. with the big blue mug of coffee. Getting going a little later today because I had to scour the internet for some clips for today's video. So I hope you're not upset that this video didn't come at 5 o'clock in the morning. Before I get to the video today, thank you so much for coming up and saying hi if you were at the Poilievre rally in Northeast Calgary on Friday. So many people recognized me from this YouTube channel. I was blown away. It was so nice to meet you. So many nice people who are hopeful. And that's the thing I took out of the rally the other day. You know, it was so exciting to see the hangar doors open, see Poilievre's plane stand there, see Pierre Poilievre with his beautiful wife walk down those stairs, talk to people in line to do the video I did the other day, talking about hope and how they're concerned about what's coming if the Liberals get in again. So many people, you know, talking about separatism because I asked them about that in the independence movement here in Alberta. So that's kind of not hopeful, but Poilievre has a hopeful message. And that's what I heard on Friday. Now, the other side of things is the Mark Carney campaign, which has been about fear. And it is really kind of sad. And this has been going on for months. I think since the very first time Donald Trump injected himself into Canadian politics with the 51st state quip with Justin Trudeau, it almost feels like the campaign has been going on for 4 or 5 months, and it's been the shortest campaign in Canadian history. I almost feel like I have to towel off. I'm so worn out from the day-to-day drudgery of this campaign. Hope from Poilievre, fear and crisis from Mark Carney and the Liberals. And so many Canadians, they call themselves Canadians, are going to sell their country out because Donald Trump lives rent-free in their head, and the Liberals have done a masterful job of scaring them about what's coming down the road. I've used these quotes here before, but I think they're very, very appropriate for the moment. James Madison said, "Crisis is the rallying cry of the tyrant." And the fear thing is very important when it comes to politicians because it drives people to the polls, and they've used this to great effect, the Liberal Party. H.L. Mencken said, "The whole aim of practical politics is to keep the populace alarmed and hence clamorous to be led to safety by menacing it with an endless series of hobgoblins, all of them imaginary." And I think the Donald Trump thing is an imaginary crisis that Mark Carney and the Liberals have ginned up for the last month or so to drive people out to vote Liberal. And it could be devastating for our country. You know, I was thinking, and I've said here, I think on this channel a number of times, I wonder how many times Carney has used the word crisis. So I spent a little time this morning looking online, and I'm sure he said a lot more times, but here's a little montage of the fear campaign from Mark Carney and his so-called crisis.
But we are in the middle of the toughest crisis from my experience of how you deal with a crisis. And when you're in a crisis, and I've seen a lot of crises, in a crisis, because in a crisis, I think I know not just what it takes to survive a crisis, to get through a crisis, because we are facing the biggest crisis of our lifetimes. To manage them through this crisis, look, if there's not a crisis, you wouldn't be seeing me. I am most useful, I am honest, I'm most useful in crisis. We are facing the biggest crisis of our lifetimes, which is recognizing that we are in a crisis. The economic crisis that we're facing, the security crisis we're facing.
All right, well, first of all, in a crisis.
Now we're in another housing crisis.
That markets, private sector freezes in a crisis. And to triumph in a crisis, to tackle the housing crisis and the economic crisis. In a crisis. In a crisis, there should be no libertarians in crises. We aren't in a joke. We are in the worst crisis of our lives.
It's very sad that so many millions of Canadians have been manipulated and propagandized by that man and his party when he talks about a crisis. As I heard many times the other day at that Poilievre rally, the crisis has been brought on by the Liberal Party over the last 10 years. It's amazing how so many Canadians have this collective amnesia about what's been going on in their country and how we have fallen so far. Here's another quote for you. Anton Chekhov said, any idiot can face a crisis. It's day-to-day living that can wear you out. And I fear that the people who vote Liberal today are going to find out darn quick that this so-called crisis with Donald Trump will end quite quickly, and they'll be stuck with a huge crisis of the Liberal Party over the next 4 to 5 years, simply because they voted for them. Now, I'm going to end with another clip here. And this man actually voiced how I feel about what's going on right now in this country. And surprisingly, it's from a guy who I've been kind of admiring through this campaign. He is no friend of Alberta, but Yves-François Blanchet accurately said what I'm feeling about what he calls an artificial country. He's taking a little bit of grief online about this, but he's absolutely right. He said Canada is an artificial country. He was asked to explain. This is what he said.
Canada is an artificial country. It is not meant as an insult. It's meant, daily politics in Canada show that also. It's meant as the observation of the fact that the different regions of these countries have different issues pulled together in order to serve mainly Ontario and an intention from Ottawa to concentrate powers in Ottawa instead of respecting regions.
He's talking about division. The divided parts of Canada right now. He's got his part in Quebec. We've got our part in Alberta. We feel like we're here serving Quebec, serving Ontario, serving Ottawa, and we're going to get sold out probably on Monday by millions of people, particularly in the Greater Toronto area. I spoke to so many people the other day, asked them, what do you think will happen if the Liberals get in on Monday? And every one of them said separation, and every one of them said they would vote in favor if that were to happen. Very divided right now in this country. It's an artificial country. Thanks so much for watching. I do appreciate it. If you enjoyed the video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications. We're on our way to 26,000 subscribers. I'll see you in the next one. I forgot to mention there is an independence rally at the Alberta Legislature 1 to 3 p.m. in Edmonton on Saturday, May the 3rd. I will see you there.